Hello and welcome to San Francisco Indie Fest. My name is Ian Bignell and I am from Festival Formula. We are a consultancy-based company based in the UK that help filmmakers navigate the complicated world of festivals on the circuit. And we are doing Q&As on behalf of San Francisco Indie Fest. And we are delighted to be joined today by the team from Juliet Must Die. So we have Marco Gage, he is the director and writer of the film. And we have Jacob, I believe you said is the editor of the film.
I'm the editor of the film, yes.
Perfect. So Marco's English isn't great in places, so Jacob is going to help to bridge the gap where my German isn't as good as your English as well. So it's a two-way street. First of all, congratulations on making a wonderfully accomplished film. I'm not a very emotional person, but I had tears in my eyes at the end of the film. I thought it was a very well-pitched film. So congratulations to you both. On getting the balance right and also understanding that delicate line between comedy and raw emotion, which is always there side by side. So congratulations on that. First of all, I thought I'd ask you, Marco, as the director and the writer, is there an origin for this story? Where does it come from? Is it something close to your heart, or was it something you've been working on for a while?
Well, I can't remember, Rene. What's the rules of the story? I think
we had another project which collapsed in front of our eyes, so we couldn't finance it, and then we were thinking of this new idea. We were thinking we have to do it by ourselves. We can't get the financing ready, so we have to do it by ourselves, and that was the spark of the idea to have it the spark to have it in the school setting, in the actor school settings.
Mm-hmm. That was a plan. Yeah, I
want to ask you, the school I thought was really interesting because it's kind of like the backbone of everything. Where is that building? Because it's a really interesting building.
It's very funny. It's the art school of Leipzig in East Germany. We have we look for the setting for this movie, but we look the acting school. We have acting school in Leipzig, but this school is very clean and white and shiny, but not so good for filming. And now we go to the other side of the street. The school, the code HGB, HGB. It's an art school for whatever book things and graphics and whatever and painting. And this school looks so nice with in the walls of the school. Yeah, everybody was everything was painting and colorized and whatever. And it's a little secret. We paid a little bit more for the movie, but nobody knows that. But looks better. But and the guys from the school was so fine for the team, so good for the movie, and that's the story of this. Yeah.
The graffiti you see in the toilets, and it was all there. We didn't have done anything there. Yeah. It was all there, and it's a great building. It's from the, I think, 1920s something,
wow.
And it's a real living environment. So there are people who do art everywhere, and they do art on the walls everywhere. And so it was the perfect place to.
The funny fact is, 1 month before the minister, governor, what's the name of this minister? Minister. Governor. The governor came and said, "Oh, that is no good. It's too dirty. You paint the wall white." And they paint the wall white, and we come for the movie. And, oh my God, it's all white. But they have four weeks, and everybody was nice, very nice looking. It's artists, the guys and the women paint it all. It looks very nice, yeah.
Yeah, it really stood out to me because it's kind of like the heartbeat of the film is this old building, this lived-in building, because it adds to the characters you see on screen, because you're like, well, obviously they must have been there a long time. Look at the walls and the history on the walls. So it kind of really adds to the characterization. I thought that was a really effective thing that you did. Going on to cast, you have a lot of cast, especially at the beginning. You have a one-shot take, which is beautifully done as you work through the crowd at the beginning of your film. So, am I right in saying they were actually art students? Is that right? In that ring, or did you go through a casting process to find those people?
Oh yeah, no, we have no casting. We have no money for this movie. The money is very small, the budget, and we look. I look on the internet. We have in Germany we have a platform called Schauspielervideos, and I look every time with coffee in my hand and look, and then I have a list a little bit and call the actors. But the problem was in the beginning of the shooting, we have no money for this movie. Wie sagt man Antrag stellen, René? Wenn man einen Antrag stellt?
Yeah, and in Germany it's like a federal system. You have to apply to a certain board, and this board will look at your movie and will give you 50% of the budget you need for the movie. The other 50% you have to do by yourself. And we applied to this, but we already had decided we shoot this movie. We shoot this movie whatever they decide. So they made their decision 2 days in shooting, and they voted in favor for us, and so we had at least a decent budget to finish the movie.
Yeah, that was a special moment. We are shooting very long, I think. And then at the end of the day, I tell the guys and the team, and they say, yeah, we have a little bit money for this movie, and everybody cry and shout, and yeah, then that was the point. I have no money, and then everybody is small in this movie, and I drive I traveled every time to these actors, and we see the eyes from the other guys and between. And they say, yeah, we spoke a little bit, and then, yeah, it was very nice. And then we make a contract a little bit. Yeah. No.
Nice. There were so many people in the beginning of the film, and then it kind of focuses on the three main characters. And obviously, to begin with, they're not friends really. They're kind of against each other, but they grow to love each other and to make this bond between them. And that blossoms as the film goes on. So the other thing that's really nicely explored is this film isn't necessarily about racism, but it's about race and about culture. Obviously, there is a moment of racism with the car scene outside where you got the young people shouting abuse at them, but that's really not the main part of the film. The point is that this is a culture, new beginnings, and I think the exploration that you put the character of Laya through is really, really interesting, because I think that you have this quiet person and she blossoms into this confident character. She wants to do what she wants to do, and obviously her past is her past. She's trying to get away from it. I was really impressed with Sabrina. How did she react when she saw this script and had to interpret this characterization and this really big role and gives life to this film?
Yeah. Was heißt treffen nochmal? Treffen?
Meet.
Yeah, I meet Sabrina in a little bar in Berlin, and I tell a little bit with Sabrina, and then I don't know, you know what I mean? It's a Amelie effect. You know what I mean? When you see the movie Amelie, and when you go out of the cinema, you have a little bit more breathe, more. And that's Sabrina. It's a little bit nature things. I don't know. Everybody like this girl, yeah. That's it's a good point for my movie. I see her and say that's it. That's the main character That's it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really important for me. You say these things about the family of the character, Leah. That's my thing. I think we have a lot of humans and a lot of person in Germany. They live in families. The family was closed. The culture was closed. But we have a lot of families. The child of this close families will get out, will breaking the walls, they speaking very good German and not so broken German. That is good, and this people was were living free, not in this case, in this cage. Yeah. That is a big problem, and they have a lot of problems with the family and the outside. The outside say, go to your family. That's the problem. But we have these people, and we have a lot of these people, and I think this people was very good for Germany. We have more experience, more sites for all. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry
no,
for
I
my
think no, it's fine. It's fine. I really like the way that you deal with it, because it's such a delicate thing, and it kind of like a flower, it kind of just gently unfolds as the film goes on, and the element of I guess what it does to an audience member is it creates that conflict, you know, in terms of like, okay, you understand what's happened and you're putting this character through this, but then she's finding her voice in the end, and she's becoming this independent woman in the end. And I think her final scene, you know, where it's beautifully, the sound is faded down and it's all sort of blurring into the background, and it's her moment. And I don't cry very often in films. I'm very cold normally. And I sat there and I watched this scene and I was just like, oh, my eyes are wet. And it caught me, and I wasn't expecting that scene to be so impactful. My question actually was like, everyone must have been crying that was shooting the film. I mean, at the time, it was an emotional scene and well handled. Did that emotion come across to you as you were shooting it?
The shooting of this scene, I can speak for as an editor. The whole scene was about 8 to 9 minutes long, and the shooting was from day one to the last day. We have shot some bits from this scene, so it was very hard to edit this. And you have to understand, we had about 17 days to shoot this movie, and it was a very, very strict timetable schedule, and so it's not so easy to feel that emotion in this moment. So the actor had to give that emotion to the movie, but in a very, very strict schedule.
Wow.
I think we should. I remember we should the end, but we work on this day very, very long. We should. I think 15 hours.
It didn't work. It didn't work at first. Yeah.
And in the end, we see the last part. She turned around, and this part when she came, when we drive for Leah, when the camera drives, and this part we should on the other day, I think, the other day.
2 or 3 days later, we had to reshoot the scene. Because the Sabrina was so exhausted on this first shooting, that she couldn't give her best performance, and this was a key scene, and we watched it in the editing room, and we decided we have to do it again.
Yeah, but the problem was my assistant said we have no time for another shooting. We have no time. We need time. It's no problem. That's so crazy.
There's never enough time though, is there? When you're on set, you're
Yeah.
always running out of it.
Yeah.
Also, it's interesting, Jacob, as well, because obviously you're an editor, and we don't very often have editors always at Q&As. So from your perspective as well, I'm quite interested to understand how you approach this film from an editing perspective. I think that, you know, the thing about the film which is great is that it has good pace, it holds together really well. It's really important to have good editing when you have a comedy, but also to understand the pacing as well towards the end of a film when you have emotive scenes to be able to hold the shots. How did you find this film editing, and did you realize in the early days how special this was? Because this is a special film.
I realized it because the main idea Marco and we developed the main idea together, and I was in the process of writing. I was always have always given input to the writing, yeah. And so we know each other over 20 years, and we know each other very well. And I was included in almost every aspect of the filmmaking. So the editing was fairly easy for me because we had ruled out all the mistakes we could do if we hadn't planned this if we hadn't planned this so carefully. We had to plan it so carefully because we started this movie with almost no money. So, and we knew we can only shoot 17 days, not any day more, and we knew we have to be very careful with our planning. And so so the editing process was very smoothly. It was a joy to edit this. I have to admit this. It was a very fine experience, and I edited during filmmaking. So I started 2 days after we start to shoot the movie. I started with editing, and so we had the opportunity to as we talked about this some minutes before, we had the opportunity to refine certain scenes in case something was wrong.
I think we have no waste. We have no waste.
No,
yeah?
I think certainly from watching it as an audience member, you can see how lean your film is. There is no waste. You can tell that from a script point of view. You can tell the way it's shot, and because of course when you write a film, it's one thing. You shoot a film, it's something else. You edit the film, and it can become something else. So the fact that you have such a good relationship meant that you kept it wrapped tight without it becoming something else, something more. So that's very obvious to see from the outside, because I watched it and I was like, wow, I really didn't expect this, because I saw the title and I was like, oh, you know, it's going to be Shakespeare-y, and I kind of had these preconceived ideas of what it might be, and then I watched it and I was like, wow, it's just so like on the nose, very well done. So I think that I definitely saw that in the fact that there was a good creative team behind it. Is important to have that synergy. Another question, I like chucking this at filmmakers because it puts them on the spot, and I'm always interested in their answers. But what is your favorite moment from the film, looking back at it?
Oh, that's a good moment. For me, it's very important, the dialogue things, yeah. The problem is I see the film now and I think, we need more time. That's a big problem. This is when I say, yeah, I think the last scene, the last thing is it's an important thing for this movie. But I have a lot of experience in my head, and I say, oh, when the wall break down, this was very special moment for shooting. But a very nice scene was when the teachers, the woman and the guy, sit in the room, and the child hear the voice of this teacher. That's a special moment when we're shooting. It's very small and very
delicate.
Delicate. Yeah, you know. That was for me very special moment on this shooting. At the end of this movie, I think I see a lot of was heißt Stellen, moments, a lot of moments in this movie, and I see the audience, and when they laugh, in this moment, that was good. That was good. I think I need a lot of I need fun and fun in the movie. Why my permission is, you have a lot of things when you that's important when you tell this to the people. You the racism problem, whatever. But when you make a wall in front of you, nobody came to you. You need a way outside of this wall. You need a way to the brain for this guy, and this guy think, I think that is good, but I think nobody before, but now I think it's good. That's my thing, you know. I think it's a good mixing from art house and entertainment. Yeah, that's my thing. I think that's a good way, but not the end of this way. The next is better, the next is better, the next is better, and yeah, that's my problem.
My
Do you have a moment that you like?
My special scene is all the things on the roof, which what happened on the roof. This is my I always loved that, and it was a great thing to edit there.
I think it's when I look back at the film, there's always three moments that stand out for me. It's the initial meeting. So the first meeting of the characters inside the hall. It's a little bit like I don't know if it will translate well, but it's called like a cute meet in a rom-com. So it's the point where the two main characters lock eyes, and it's almost like it's not love, but it's a relationship that they're having three-way, and they know that there's something that doesn't work there, but there's something that is. And I really liked the delicacy of that moment. Okay. And I agree. I think the rooftop scene is a moment when, as an audience member, everything's out in the open. Everyone's talking about exactly how they feel. There's nowhere to hide anymore, and it's now time to own up to the situation. So I think that's in terms of conflicts and in terms of resolving your conflicts, of course, that's the high point. From there, the resolution, it leads you back down to normality in terms of there's a future for the school in the end. I think, obviously, the scene at the end where, you know, she's delivering her lines are I guess maybe the hero moment, the hero shots of the film. But I think that there are so many areas to admire, because I think every shot that you always have a slightly interesting moment. I love the fact that the teacher's room is just full of cigarette smoke all the time. Because you know, I like the fact that there's elements of this film where no matter where you are, whether they're in the park, lying on top of the apparatus in the playgrounds, like there are so many little moments I just think that stand out. You got great imagery, but you've also got a really good emotive feeling. So I think that like you've ticked a lot of boxes, and it's certainly stuck in my mind. And I think also to have a nice comedy. God, we need a comedy at the moment, and laughing at things. I mean, things are bad enough outside at the moment, so it's good to actually laugh at things. Was this shot during COVID? Was it shot during lockdown scenarios or anything like that, or did you avoid that?
No, it was shot in August, September 2019. So we had. We were lucky to make this movie before all this stuff happened.
Yeah. I think you've dodged a bullet, as they say, with that. Because that would have definitely
on lockdown in this black room, in this theater room. I think in special case we have 50 people inside. I think team and cast, and it's very eng und was heißt eng, René?
You mean the audition scenes?
Yeah.
A lot of extras, a lot of actors in a very confined space, and we couldn't do this. We couldn't do this within the COVID-19 period. So we are very lucky to.
I think also from what you said earlier on as well about like time. I think that the filmmakers that I'm talking to at the moment, it takes so much longer to make a film now with all the, and they have to be there, the rules have to be there, they have to be followed. But it means that you really are stretching the amount of time it takes you to shoot a film by following those rules. So it's becoming quite inventive how people are making films now. I think from your point of view, I mean, you've played on the circuit already, I assume. And have you played? How many festivals have you played so far on your journey around the film festival circuit?
Fragt, wie oft das schon gelaufen sind? Was weißt du?
Yeah.
We have the premiere we have in Germany on January 2020. Yeah.
Oh wow! Just in time.
Yeah, it was a very rough mixing to get this ready in time to have the premiere on the Max Ophüls Prize in Germany. We had the composer. The composer had to deliver the music for every 20 minutes every day.
Yeah.
And he in this week of sound mixing, I think he slept 4 hours or 6 hours or so. It was a very we made it, and it was a very successful premiere at this German film fest. And then the COVID-19 stuff happens, and everything went down. And so, how many we have, Marco? How many festivals?
Now we have 3.
3. Yeah.
Well, it is tough. I mean, obviously the circuit changed overnight from a physical thing to a virtual thing, as we're experiencing right now. And I'm sure I can speak on behalf of you that everyone would like to have a beer right now and be shaking hands with people, talking to audience members. It's, I guess, that part of it, which is the sad part of it, that's been taken away. But hey, I mean, thank God we have a vaccine on the way, and hopefully the light at the end of the tunnel can come nice and quickly for you guys. How have you been keeping busy by both of you during the pandemic? How have you been sort of keeping yourself from looking outside and keeping yourself busy and occupied during the pandemic? Have you been doing anything to, any tips you can give to filmmakers out there to keep your hands keep your mind distracted from the pressures of outside?
René, du?
Okay. For me, it's as an editor, I'm in a big better situation because the normal TV stuff is always running, even within the COVID time. So I can edit serials and things, and so I'm in a bit fortunate situation. Yeah, we Marco and we develop stories right now for our next movie, and then we developed a serial for crime serial, and that's what you can do right now. You can develop stuff, so you can so you have everything set when you can go out and film again after the vaccine. That's what I can say to other filmmakers. Just write your stories and be ready.
Yeah, it's interesting because we as a company, we rely on new films coming to us. We help a lot of short films as well as features, and try and develop strategies to approach the circuit. And we panicked. We were like, what's happened? What's going to happen? Everyone's going to stop shooting. it actually meant the opposite for us, weirdly, because it meant everyone in the end started finishing their films, because it's very common on the circuit to be working on one, sometimes two, sometimes three films at the same time. And so it gave you that great opportunity to keep busy. But I've heard some really inventive things that people have been doing, and even learning new roles on set, you know, maybe getting their hands dirty at editing for the first time and learning how to use Final Cut or whatever they want to use. And I think, you know, this is a time for learning, for writing and creativity. And it's great to see that both of you are still creating, so there's still film for us when the theatres and the cinemas open back up. So good to you both for that. We have run out of time. We've gone to over half an hour now. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making a really good film. Thank you for making a film that makes me cry. It's a beautiful thing, and I think that you should be very proud of what you've made. And yeah, hopefully we'll bump into you and have a beer at a film festival somewhere in the not too distant future.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.